to center my presentation on answering those questions.
Okay. Since I'm here, my name is Bethy Victorin, also known as Dr. Yailombe. I am the founder and principal of Bourgeonnet Nascent Foundation, Inc. I was part of the first cohort with Debbie. Um, our mission is in Haiti. We're working with rural farmers in Jacmel in the southeast. We're helping them through agriculture. We raise funds for seeds, heirloom seed. We do an annual summer camp, and it's 6 years for the youth in
Mm-hmm.
the rural community from 3 to 25. We do vocational trade. This year, I received a grant of $30,000 from Vocal, and I rolled out an initiative called Reclaiming the National Haitian Creole National Anthem. We've been around, I've been doing the work since 2016. In 2022, I registered as a 501(c)(3), and I was very grateful to be able to roll out this program in the state because I wanted to have program both. My question is right now, also, I just I'm going to be working with Deloitte Touche. They approved my application to help me do a strategic plan and fundraising.
Nice, nice, nice.
So my thing is, I've been talking. I really need to understand when I'm tel building these relationships, when I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling these stories, to highlight the needs and the solutions so that they could come. Because I was starting to feel like I'm begging, and
Yes, and we don't want to do that, right?
we
And
don't
I
want to
think
feel
that's
that. So
that's why a lot of people have a hard time fundraising because they do feel like they have to beg. And I think for me, raising money can be more empowering. It can be an opportunity to invite somebody to become part of
exactly.
a change.
So I
Um,
need to know how to think that way. I was talking to another person, and she was saying to me, and I haven't had time to reflect. And I do it.
right.
You don't even know you're
Mhm.
doing it because I had a funder who called me and said, "Hey, Bethy, Dr. I want to give you $500 for your farmers for
Yeah.
January 1st for the soup jumu."
Mm.
And I said, "Really?" I said, "Wow, thank you." I said, "What
Yes.
made you want to give?" She said, "Don't you remember the story you told me about the kids walking down?" I
Yeah.
said, "Really?" I said, "Oh." So I was able to pull him in into
Yeah.
the solution and
Yeah.
identify the needs, but I'm not conscious of it. So I want to become more conscious. I'm also part of another cohort. I don't know if anybody
Mhm.
else is here. And in that cohort, there's this one person. He said he started his company, his organization with 15 funders. Today he has 75.
15 funders, but now he has 75.
Ah, I was like, well, anyway, but that's another question. But just to
Yes.
tell you that he knows how to build relationship.
Yes. Yes.
And me, I'm trying to get the structure
Yeah.
of the story telling of the needs and pulling them into the solution. That
Mm.
I remember.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what I would want to because as far as strategic planning, I understand the concept, the theory. I'm
Hmm.
working with Deloitte. Fundraising, I understand that was should have been the first thing I did instead
Yes.
of having this expensive hobby.
Yes. So you have touched on a lot of different problems that funders experience with their nonprofit organization. But what I really love about you sharing your experience is the fact that you highlight that you want to know how to build relationship with donors and funders. It wasn't like I need to know how to ask for $1 million. So a lot
No,
of time
not
when
at all.
people learn that I am a fundraiser and we start to have conversation, the focus is never on building
No,
relationship. It's like I just need to know who can give me $1 million. And I'm like, good
no,
luck doing that because people who have money don't want you to come asking them for money. They
no.
want to be engaged in something that is meaningful, that actually embrace their own values and interests. And most recently, I was talking to my friend. She actually works in philanthropy as a development fundraiser. I'm working to actually talk to people in fundraiser in philanthropy, and we both are Haitian American. And I was just like, you know what? Oftentimes people just come to me, they want to ask me money because I'm Haitian. I'm like, they know nothing about my values or interests. It's just like I'm more than just being Haitian, and I think we all know as Haitian people we are passionate and prideful, but we also have a lot of commitment to Haiti, and it shows up differently. For some of us, is giving back directly to a family who are still in Haiti. So when it comes to building, when it comes to raising money, you want to be very mindful about you're not just trying to get money from people, you're actually building a relationship. So I really love everything that you have shared, and I feel confident that I'll be able to address those questions. I do have a presentation,
Mhm.
so I want to get through it because um, um, because we want to share the presentation with those who don't make it, but I do want to also make sure we do have enough time to just ask question in regards to my presentation. And if your questions are not answered, definitely create time at the end so we can address those questions. I see that we have another participant, Lynn Balmier. Lynn, if you are capable of introducing yourself, please do so. I know sometime when we join this webinar, we are in the middle of doing multiple things. And if that's not possible at the time, that is fine. But I just wanted to make sure that you know that you can introduce yourself.
Hello, I don't know if you can hear me well.
Yes, I
Unfortunately,
can.
I cannot open my video, but my name is Lynn, and I am the program director for Je Nouveau New Day. We've been working in Haiti since a few years now, and I saw the link on LinkedIn, and I was interested because we've been struggling with fundraising for 2 years now. Um, but I was not able to attend the last session, but I made sure I download and I got a lot of insight from what she said, and there was a lot of good points, presence on social media, the details that the investors or whoever wants to sponsor want to see. So this year we're going to do another fundraiser again. So I was hoping to get some more information in order to have it better this year. So that's why I'm here, and I'm happy to
All
get to.
right. Thank you. Can you share some of the challenges that you have experienced with raising money?
Okay, so some of the challenges that we face is that regarding the crisis in Haiti right now, usually we ask for funding for some of our programs. We have a sponsorship program for the kids in school, and we have a program for university students.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens because of the crisis, most of our donors, they come from the US, and when you go to college, you're expected to finish after 4 years. But in Haiti, the reality is different. We have some of the students, they are like into the studies after 5, 6, 7 years, and the donors, they don't really understand why the students
Right.
cannot finish. And
Mm-hmm.
also because of the crisis, they have like this bad image about Haiti right now. What we also saw is that the donors, like, they are kind of gendered. They don't want to support little boys. I don't know if it has to I don't know if this is because of the image of, the gang members being mostly men, but most of our donors, they prefer to sponsor like a little girl, even
Mm-hmm.
if like this is a male donor.
Mm-hmm.
And what you said about, building trust, most of the donors that we've been able to keep are like donors from several years. They have like they understand what we do. They still want to help, but getting to have more like brand new donors, it's been kind of difficult. But we're trying to work around that. But regarding social media and marketing, we know that this is really important. And
Mm-hmm.
I think like if you visit our pages, we kind of, make sure that everything is on point. We have every details. Like you said, we have description for everyone, like all our staff in Haiti, the board members in the US, they are really involved. And that's
Yeah.
why we've been able to secure funding. But we
Mm-hmm.
know we have to do more in Haiti. Most of our problems like right now is like on the field, like trying to make the donors understand that regarding the crisis,
Mm-hmm.
we're still doing activities because in their minds, Haiti right now, like nothing is happening. So they cannot really fathom that in Haiti, we still have ongoing activities. We'll still have, the kids going to school. So we have to make sure that they understand that. But for the board members, they are really involved. They are
Yeah.
making everything in their power. And regarding marketing, we are set. But
Mm-hmm.
regarding the crisis in Haiti, I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to make them understand that we're still trying to work despite the situation. So,
All right. Well, thank you so much. It's very helpful to understand the context that you are working under. I think a lot of time people throw the narrative just like things happening in Haiti, but Haiti is not one place. It's not shaped by only one story. So my hope in doing this presentation is that you will take a piece of advice or best practice and trying to apply it in the context that you are working. Um, Betty shared that she worked in Southeast Haiti in Jacmel. Um, where you work matters. I'm not really sure where you are actually based, Lynn, but I think when it comes to a place like Haiti, working in Haiti, we want to really demystify what working in Haiti means because you are competing with a lot of very negative stereotypes. And those stereotypes are really fitting into the idea is Haiti is now a workable place, and you have the tough job of actually making a difference every single day. So when it comes to either like your marketing or donor communication, you really want to center those stories. You don't want to be responsible for every bad thing that's happening in Haiti because at the end of the day, the leaders of the countries, they are the one responsible. And unless your work is focusing on that, you want to be very careful to avoid that trap of explaining why Haiti does not work. So focus on your mission. I know somebody else joined us. So at this time, I will start the presentation and make sure that I leave enough time for us to continue addressing those questions that have been posed. Thank you. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so for today, the conversation is really going to be about both funder and donor communication. Um, I would say 75% of the conversation is really going to focus on how to talk to individual donors. And the reason why that is the emphasis of the presentation is honestly the way that you communicate to funder is a little bit different. You're still using the very same concept ideas, but it looks different. And unlike working with a program officer at a foundation, individual donors require a lot more touch point than, let's say, a program officer who is essential in working with you to provide your grant. Um, Usually, private foundation provide grant fundings of money to an organization, and it's very specific why you giving that money and what you ought to do with that money. When it comes to individual donors, there's a lot more flexibility. People are really giving you money out out of their values and interests. And usually they don't necessarily have a say of what's going on in your organization, which is great because nonprofit organizations need flexible money to actually advance their work. Um, at the end of the day, it also requires you as a nonprofit organization to really be able to talk to donors about about your mission, about your programs, about what is your organization experiencing, and really communicate to them the change that is happening. At the beginning of the webinar, one of the attendees shared that she is noticing a trend that her donors prefer to sponsor girls instead of boys. Um, and we have no idea why that may be happening. And that is the power of building relationship with your donors. You should be able to pick up the phone and just like, hey, thank you so much for being a donor. Right now, 90% of the girls in our program are being sponsored. Unfortunately, only 25% of the boys are being sponsored. Right now, we are having a special drive to actually ensure that the boys in our program actually have the opportunity to go to school. And this is important because when boys are not educated, they are more likely to be recruited into like gangs, etc. Now, you want to be very careful with the narrative that you are using because you don't want to A, say things that are untrue, and B, um, you don't want to create to some of the negative stereotypes that a lot of people have about Haiti. For right now, a lot of people are aware that there is a gang problem in Haiti. For a lot of places in Haiti outside of the capital, and outside where the gangs have actually moved into, they're not experiencing a gang problem. If that situation is not affecting your organization, please be very careful of how you actually include those information into your fundraising communication. So, a little bit background about me. I have been a development professional for the past 9 years. What that has meant is that I have worked with organizations to help them raise money in a lot of different capacity. As a individual giving associate, so mainly engaging donors into the work of the nonprofit and really doing a couple of different things. A, trying to identify potential donors for the organization. B, engaging those donors into the work of the organization. And C, soliciting organization. So we had a person talk about fundraising, and for them, fundraising was just about asking money. That's only one type of communication that you do with your donor, but it should not be the only one. It makes fundraising really difficult. And the other thing is also making sure that people understand the impact of their donation. Besides raising money from individuals, I also raise money from private foundations. So I help nonprofit organizations secure grant money for their operations, program, and any other strategic needs that they may have. During this presentation, I will be sharing information with you all so you can understand the mindset of donors and funders. So you can reframe how to engage both donors and funders in your work. I will share some best practices so that way, again, you can adapt it for your organization. And I will also share example of how you can actually use some of the best practices for your Haitian NGO. Um, why is donor communication is important? Unfortunately, the nonprofit sector is crowded and competitive. Many people are soliciting donors because they need the support. But more than asking donors or funders money because you need money, you want to take it a step further. You really want to engage them based on their personal motivation, based on their value and interest. When you do that, you really set yourself apart from other nonprofit organization that's not doing those things, and it puts you in a place where it become easier when you do solicit an individual donor or you engage a funder in being able to actually raise money from them. It is very important to understand the way that both donors and funders think. For many individual donors, they are giving money not because they want to give money away, not because your nonprofit organization need it, but because they are motivated about making a change in the world. And that can look very different from a lot of different donors. No two donors are giving for the same reason. So a lot of time there are organizations that operate in Haiti and there are ensuring access to education. Um, one of the one of the way to identify donors to support your cause is really to figure out the donors that think that education is important. Um, it would not make sense for you to go to a donor that is interested in, let's say, agriculture and trying to convince them to give to your organization that's working on education. Um, this mindset, um, of asking money because you need it is one of the top way that people don't build relationship with donors. The donors don't feel like they're being engaged because there is a mutual beneficial um, opportunity. They feel like they're just being asked for money just because, A, there is an assumption they have money to give. So you really want to you really want to honor who an individual is, whether they are a current donor or prospective donor. Um, Donors don't only evaluate potential organization to support um, just based on a mission. They also want to know, are you trustworthy? Are you transparent? Are you accountable? They want to trust that if they donate to you, that money will actually be used to further your mission. Um, Donors don't just want to be asked for money. They wanna they wanna be included in what's happening within your organization. They want to know how you are addressing some of the things that they see in the news. Um, they want to know some of your wins. Somebody mentioned that they secured a grant recently. That would be a great information to share with your current donors. When people see nonprofit organizations securing grants or raising money, it makes them feel good. Um, there is a lot of fear sometimes for nonprofit organizations. Like, well, we don't want to let people know that we're doing financially well. They may not support us, but again, people are giving to your nonprofit organization not because they see you as being needy, but you are a connection to the change that you want, that you are a connection to the change that they want to see in the world. And ensuring that you're keeping donors engaged is extremely critical to ensure that there is longevity with that donor. Once you no longer engage your donors, it becomes easier for them not to actually respond to your solicitation. Because you're not engaging them in the work, you only asking them for money. Raising money is more than asking for money. It is taking the time to really engage donors in your mission, the work, and some of the challenges that you are experiencing, and also some of your wins. The most important thing to think about when it comes to the mindset of both donor and funder is that they're both giving, not only because they have money, but because it is a way for them to express their values and interests. And when that is not considered in fundraising, the fundraising just become marketing. It just becomes transactional. So you want to make sure your communication speak to motivations and also to the credibility of your organization. Now, I have hinted that there are multiple stages that create the communication cycle when it comes to engaging donors. These are some of the different stages. It starts with researching and prospecting potential supporters. It include asking people. The ask does not always have to be about money. You can realize that somebody is really aligned with your nonprofit organization. Maybe their grandmother grew up in rural Haiti and their grandmother used to tell them all the time how they participate in growing food and for them, that is a connection that they want to honor. Um, and maybe that person is not ready to donate to your nonprofit organization, but maybe you can invite them into your organization as a way for them to learn about what is happening in rural Haiti. You can also give them the opportunity to become a volunteer. Um, it's also about how do you acknowledge gifts within your organization. When somebody donates to you, does somebody within your organization take the time to say, thank you for donating to our organization. We are so thankful for this gift. It's going to help us in X, Y, and Z. Um, I think this is one of the most critical point of donor communication. A lot of time people donate and they receive nothing from an organization until that organization is ready to ask money. You lose a lot by employing that tactic in your fundraising. A, people don't feel like um, it matters when they give. And B, people are not getting anything back in regards to donating to you. When we think about fundraising, the major part that we should think about it is an opportunity to build relationship with people. Very few of us tolerate people in our life, whether it is a friends, family, or colleagues, who only show up to us when they need something. Similarly, it becomes a big turn off to donors when A, they're not acknowledged for what they give to an organization, and B, they only are engaged in the organization when the organization needs money. Besides acknowledging gift, you also really want to engage your donors. And that engagement can look different. It can look like sharing information. It's just like most recently, our organization had the opportunity to attend the UN general body meeting. Share with them what you did at that general body, especially in regards to advancing your mission. It can also look like sharing great news. It's just like as an organization, we just wanted to inform you that we were able to raise $10,000 in the past 3 months during our campaign. This money is going to help us with X, Y, and Z. And maybe you have been working on an initiative, a program for a very long time, and you just hit a milestone. Go ahead and share that with your donor. And the communication can look like over the past 5 months, we have been restructuring our organization to meet the current time. As a result, um, we have been able to pivot in this way. A pivot has really allowed us to affect 10 new students. This is an increase of 40% more students than we have been able to do at the beginning of the year. All of these examples are specific and show how you are sharing different different details about what is happening within your organization. Again, donors want to be part of a change, and when you actually engage them in that way, the relationship goes beyond just you asking for money, making you feel like, oh man, I'm begging people for money, to really giving people an opportunity to really engage with you on another level, to make them feel like they are actually part of something. Um, as human beings, we seek connection, and fundraising is one way that we can actually help people meet those needs. But again, building a relationship always start with alignment. So you've been able to provide regular updates. The next step is really to deepen the relationship through stewardship. Stewardship looks different than all of the other different type of communication. It's really taking the time to engage with a donor on an individual basis. So this is where you may pick up the phone and you call Mary and let Mary know, Mary, I noticed that you've been giving for the past 10 years. Thank you so much. Over the past 10 years, we have been able to accomplish X, Y, and Z, and it would not have been possible without your support. Um, you may actually recognize them because they are contributing to some of the milestone you have been able to achieve. The most important thing about stewardship is that it is individualized. It's not done through mass communication, such as email or social media. It is one-on-one. And the great thing about stewardship is that it really allow that person to become a partner within your organization. Now, you may not want to steward every single donor in the same way, because the key to stewardship is that this person will have the capacity to give a significant gift to you. And that significant gift can look like Mary, you've been giving to us for the past 10 years. We are really excited about creating a new project, and we would love to get your input in it. Get Mary's input, and then maybe in 2 or 3 months after you finalize the project, you can pick up the call and share what is the final project looks like, and also let Mary know that you will be depending on donors like her to increase their gift. So then when you send her that solicitation letter, it's not a surprise that you are asking her $5,000 more. In fact, you have already maybe indicate to her a budget for this new initiative. Um, Donor communication is more than asking for money. It's engaging people in the work that your organization is doing to make a change in the world. Each of these stages demands tailored messaging, tone, frequency, and channel. My presentation goes into details about each stage. I will share I will share the presentation with Debbie, and Debbie will make sure that you all receive a copy of it. But I did want to spend a couple more time talking about the ask, because I think this is where a lot of people get stuck. Nobody want to feel like they're begging anybody for money. So I have listed the different component of a strong ask. You never want to just ask people for money. Uh, um, it should never be like, Mary, I'm calling you because I need $10,000. It should be contextualized. Um, you want to help people understand why you're asking them for money. Share the challenge. Mary, we have seen a huge decrease our in our contribution this year. We understand that there has been a lot of change within the Haitian community. Many things are affecting the Haitian diaspora, which is really impacting the work that we are doing in Haiti right now. Um, but our students still need us. And things have only gotten more challenging for us. And one of the things that we are witnessing is that most of our sponsors are more likely to support the girls in our program than the boys. 80% of our boys do not have sponsorship right now. Um, we are doing this special campaign where we are actually asking donors to commit to sponsoring our boys. By doing this, our goal is to ensure that uh, um, 10 of the boys in list the area that you work in Haiti will be able to complete this school year. Your donation will ensure that this happen. Can you donate $100 today? This is the ask. I noticed that you didn't ask money from the very beginning. Notice that you specifically share um, the challenges that your organization is facing because of some of the global changes and national changes. Notice that you give them a clear understanding of what you are trying to address. You are addressing the fact that many of the boys in your program don't have sponsorship. You are detailing what your goal is. Our goal is to make sure that at least 10 of our boys get to complete the school year. Can you give us a donation of $100? Um, when you layer the acts that way, it gives people an opportunity to really understand what you are achieving versus sending somebody an email or calling them, hey, my nonprofit organization works in Haiti. Right now, we are raising money to send our student to school. Um, that ask does not really engage people in anything specific. And I think a lot of time, nonprofit organization, um, they kind of rely on the fact that people understand there are a lot of problems, but the problems that exist can easily overwhelm people. But once you follow the different component of this ask, you are sharing clear example of how you are addressing an issue and also giving somebody the opportunity of making a change instead of the change being solving a global problem. It becomes something tangible. Mary, can you help me ensure that 10 of our boys actually complete the school year tuition free? It becomes hard for people to say no. And sometimes you will get a no because maybe it's the wrong time to ask. But part of fundraising is making an ask. And when you do make the ask, you want to be as specific as possible. And you want to give people the opportunity to become part of a change that your organization is leading. We talk about gift acknowledgement, and unless you guys have specific question, I'm going to go ahead and skip it. And again, the reason why is so I can address any of your questions. We also spoke about ongoing communication, stewardship. I do want to spend some more time about stewardship. A lot of the time, when people talk about fundraising, they go back to solicitation. And the solicitation is really important. It's when you ask people for a donation. Um, but in the fundraising world, what we are seeing is that donors are not giving year to year. And one of the way that professionals like me are trying to address this change is to ensure we are deepening our connection with donors. And to do that, it requires us to take the time to get to know who is giving to us. So do you have a list of who your donors are? Do you have a record of their giving? How much are they giving? When did they last give? Have you ever picked up the phone to actually call them and learn more about who they are and why they are supporting your organization? If you haven't done any of those things, this is probably the first step that you want to do. It's great that you have marketing. It's great that you are active on social media platforms, but maintaining those operation becomes more expensive year to year versus having somebody within your organization that is responsible for understanding your donor. One of my biggest has been being has been um focusing on donor relations. And what donor relations is all about, who is in our donor base? What do they care about? How much money have they given to our organization? Who else are they giving to? Um, are they giving to similar organization? Are they giving similar gift? Are they giving more gift to another organization? Um, it's also understanding donors' capacity. You wouldn't want to ask somebody to give you $1,000 when they cannot give you $1,000. So this is donor stewardship is how you can grow your organization without spending so much time on marketing and soliciting donors a year to year. You want to have a good set of donors, and they can be like 25% of your donor base. But the idea is these people are like the most committed people within your organization. And not only are they the most committed, you know who they are. You understand them and you create a plan to engage them as such so you can continue to grow their investment within your organization year to year. Because if not, you're going to spend a lot of money always doing a campaign to bring in new donors. And while that might be a good way to initially bring people into your organization, it's also going to be the most expensive way to engage donors. Um, the conversation about donor stewardship is all about renewal. You want to be able to ask your current donor base money from year to year. Um, Unfortunately, the nonprofit sector does have a really hard time at retaining donors, but stewarding individual donors is one of the ways that you can actually address this issue. And again, this really looks like just taking the time to understand your donors and engaging them one-on-one. It can be done through email. It can also be done through calling people. It can also be done by having events as well. Um, as you store donors, those people become prospect to becoming future major donors. The difference between a major donor is they can give you significant gift. And that significance is really a reflection of where your organization is. For a nonprofit organization, somebody giving $250 per year is significant. For others, it's $500. And for some, it may even be $10,000. Those people are the first individual. Those are your top prospects when it comes to growing your organization. You should be able to go back to them, but like, John, over the past 10 years, you have donated $20,000 to us. We are looking at creating a new project right now, and this project is going to cost X amount of money. We are interested to know if you would like to fund this new component of our organization. This will be almost an impossible conversation to have. Um, without having built the relationship over the years. And it is also extremely hard to raise a large sum of money through marketing because a lot of those engagements are bringing in small amount of dollars. So they're like $25, they're $50,000. But just because that's the gift somebody is giving you the first time around, it doesn't mean that they can give you more significant money. But you won't ever know that until you actually dip in your knowledge of who that donor is, their interests, and how they can grow along with your organization. Um, so there are many channels that you can use for your communication. You can do face-to-face meetings, you can do webinars, you can do email, you can do social media. You can also do direct mail. It's um, Your decision on which one to use, it's going to reflect the type of conversation that you're trying to have with the donor and also the capacity of your organization. Best practice for communication. You want to be able to segment your donor list so you can tailor your messaging accordingly. You want to use clear, simple language, avoid jargon. Um, you may be an expert at your issue area, whether that is education in Haiti, whether that is agriculture. For most of your donors, they may not have the technical language. So you want to use language that is very simple for people to understand. You should just act like maybe you talking to like a middle schooler or somebody with a seventh grade education. You don't want to create barriers for people to support you. And the type of language that you use will definitely determine that. Um, we also discussed connecting with donors' values and interests to really drive the type of engagement with donor. You want to show concrete impact. A lot of the examples that I used throughout the presentation, I share specific numbers, whether it was like the percentage of percentage change in your organization, the number of people you trying to impact, also sharing stories. Those are a way to make the work that you're doing tangible and understandable by people who may not have any idea how the nonprofit world works. You want to be consistent. You want to provide regular communication. Um, so one of the questions that I received prior to the presentation was like, how often should I be communicating with my donor? I think you should have at least 3 to 4 touch points with donor in a given year. Um, and uh, having that as your goal really allow you to either communicate with people bi-monthly or quarterly. It's also okay to just update folks when you have something meaningful to share. So the focus shouldn't just be like the quantity of the conversation, but really the quality. So let's say you don't have much to share. I would no, I would definitely say never do a donor communication just because you have to. You want it to be more thoughtful and meaningful for your organization and the donor. Um, you also want to make giving easy. If it's at all possible to have a donate button in your website that actually works, it becomes easier. Sometime I'll go on a nonprofit website and they'll have like a Zelle or Cash app. Um, while those may seem convenient, it can become a little bit difficult because people may not know where the donation is actually going, if those are the only way, if those are the only options. And for donors who may not know anybody within the organization, it can be a very difficult choice to make. Okay, so what are some of the common pitfalls and how to avoid them? Again, we don't want to communicate to people only when we need money. The relationship then is transactional. It's not one that is built on mutual value and interest. We don't want to use jargon. We want our language to be as clear as possible. We want to avoid sending generic mass email. Um, there is a time to sharing general updates about your organization, but that cannot be the only form of communication that your donors receive for you. You definitely want to avoid not following up on receiving gifts. Always make sure that you thank donors for contributing to your organization. You want to be as transparent as possible with donors. And one of the ways to do that is just to share impact data and also share some of the learning that your organization is doing. Um, Definitely avoid over communicating with donors. Again, we don't want to just communicate with donors just so we show up in their email box. We want it to be thoughtful and meaningful. All right, so I think one of the best way to apply learning is actually to have some sort of way to apply what you have learned. So you can build your own communication plan. The first step is really to audit your donor communication. You want to take a look at what you're sending, when you're sending it, and to whom. You want to choose 2 to 3 ways to improve. Like I said, there are a lot of best practices for donor communication, but you really want to go on a learning journey to figure out what works for your organization. What might be working very well with a similar organization as yourself may not necessarily work for you because you may have different donors. You may also have different capacity within your organization, but you want to give your organization that ability to test, fail, and learn. Um, you want to assign donor communications and funder communication to a specific person within your organization. A lot of time there might be somebody who's responsible for communication within the organization, and their responsibility is really to communicate the mission, the impact, your programmatic work, but also don't undervalue the need of donors to require specific information from your organization. And if nobody's in charge of that right now within your organization, you want to maybe think of assigning that to somebody within the organization. Create a content calendar of what the next 3 to 6 months will look like. There are tons of examples and template online that you can use and adapt for your organization. I've mentioned the importance of just learning and testing. So go into your donor communication with curiosity. Nothing has to be perfect, but you have to be able to improve on what is not working. And the biggest way the most impactful way to build confidence in doing anything is just to have a quick win. So, for the next 30 days, give yourself a challenge of thanking donors. For this example, I say your top 5 to 10 donors. Some of you may not have the history to know who those people are, but maybe an easy win for you could be like, let's go ahead and think everybody, not everybody, let's go ahead and thank the last five donors who gave to us that haven't been thanked. And maybe a, a medium challenge is to actually thank all of the donors who have given to you in 2025 before the new year starts. Um, one organization that I work for, every year we would send all of our donors thank you cards right before Giving Tuesday. We didn't necessarily have a Giving Tuesday campaign, so we used that time to get all of the staff engaged in actually thanking our donors, and it was the one of the easiest thing to do. All we did is to have like a thank you template, and every staff will take like maybe an hour of their work hours and just write the thank you notes, and then we will send those cards out. Again, I understand every organization have different capacity, but it's just like it's a really small ways of thinking. Okay, so how do I actually start implementing communication that will make my donors feel like they're of value? And there's also this slide which include a communication plan. As I started the presentation, I did say like most of the presentation would focus on donor communication because they required the most level of engagement. You would use a lot of the similar concept for funders, but it would look different. So the prospecting would maybe be conducted by actually going into their website to look at their funding priority and to see who has given to them. The initial ask for a funder is you sending them an email to just share, like, I've had the opportunity to learn about your organization. I see you give in this area. Our organization also our organization also work on this issue area. We would love to have a meeting with you. Are you available to meet with us? You definitely don't want to ask them money until they give you the opportunity to apply for a grant. Um, and similarly, you do think funders, you may send them an acknowledgement letter that just reiterate the amount of money they have given you and also the reason why they have given you that money. Um, Regular impact for a donor looks like you sending them information about what has been happening even before you are required to submit a report. Most donors have reporting requirements. Um, and sometimes you may actually want to schedule a time with the program officer who is responsible for your project just to share updates with them. Donor recognition can be acknowledging them on your website, acknowledging them on your social media platform as a donor. If the funder is okay with it, it's really important for you to understand when donors are comfortable with you publicly acknowledging them as a donor. Some people do prefer to be anonymous, and you want to make sure that you honor that as well. Um, when it comes to asking for money, for individual donors, you want to make sure you are asking money at least every 11 months. For a funder, it can look a little bit different. You want, if they have like an open opportunities, you are always welcome to submit a grant application, but you do want to engage them in conversation to know what a renewal looks like. Um, yes, there's tons of ways that you can engage both donors and funders, and in this presentation, I hope you were able to learn a new insight that will help you in some of the challenges that you have experienced. At this time, I am happy to take your questions. I know we are 5 minutes over time, but if any of you guys are able to maybe spend maybe like 5 to 10 minutes, I'm happy to stay and answer all of your questions.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, okay, yes, okay. Now I have stopped sharing my screen. Yes, that was a lot of information.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for focusing on that particular topic. And it shows how comprehensive you were in sharing and doing your research. For me, you talked on a lot of things that I know I'm going to be using. Basically, what I want to say is I have a lot of work to do.
Yes, and I hope you don't try to address all of them all at once.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so I'll let Bernice and Lynn, say something and then I'll ask the
Yes.
question.
All right.
I don't really have questions at the time, but I just wanted to say thank you for all the insight. I will definitely go over the documents again and kind of prepare and see how we can figure out some of the stereotypes, like you said, about the context and the situation, and probably work on that for future
Yeah.
events and fundraising. Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, as I was presented, I definitely thought about your unique circumstance, and I think there might be some education that needs to happen with your donor base, but it's really going to um, involve your organization being willing to have the conversation. One of the things that I didn't mention during the presentation is oftentimes as a nonprofit organization, we do actually have to educate our donors about the work that's being done. And I work at a global reproductive rights organization for 5 years, and a lot of our focus was about women having the right to decide what to do with their body, whatever that means for them. But we also had to engage men. Right? We didn't, it wasn't about centering men, but we cannot talk about family planning without thinking that men actually need to be included. And I think what might be happening is that people may understand the vulnerability that women and children face in countries like Haiti, but they may not understand the needs for the boys and men into that country as well. And I think your organization may be able to help them understand that.
Yeah, I think it's important, and we're definitely working on that. And what we're trying to do is to put out more stories about our situation, the activities that we are doing, just to kind of show that how we do what we do, how we are involved, and we will definitely will be working more on that.
Yeah. Um, and it, I'm sure we can talk a lot more about the situation, but yeah, we can definitely talk more about it if you are interested. Yeah, Debbie can go ahead and share. I'll actually just share my email with you.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
Uh, hold on. Oh boy, I'm stuck here. I wanted to say that I want to say thank you to Debbie also, Debbie Jean, for having you. I want to say that as a community, us Haitian are doing a lot, but we work in silo. We work in
Mhm.
isolation.
Yeah.
Uh, and that is one of the intersection I'm Bouillon is at. Uh, we're volunteer top heavy. Uh, so this is something in terms of funders and maybe coming together as a group. And I don't know, I know they've done it here with Block Grant and the one specific.
Mm,
But my point is that we're very involved.
yeah.
Okay, the initiative that I rolled out this year, it's a survey, it's a research, and I discovered there was five type of Haitian. And you are the group that we like the most because you're Haitian born here. Were you born here? Oh, okay. So you're not.
No, I'm not. I'm from Folly. I lived there until I was 9.
Oh, okay. I love my research show that they were the Haitian born here. When they get a certain age, they're very interested in the culture. They know the food. They love the compa. However, elders like me, we failed them because we never really gave them the history of our country.
Mm,
Parents
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Some had it if you lived it, but they were not very self-aware that by giving
Mm, yeah.
this is personal development, it's conviction, it's generational wealth. Anyway, I digress. But anyway, the way to ask funders, build relationship, you were mentioning, I have a lot of work to do. And it's going to take time because, like you said, we tend to think just because we're doing good work, everybody want to do good work with us. It doesn't work like that.
Mm,
You have to have etiquette. I remember in Haiti, they had
mm,
etiquette. And
yeah.
for me, that's what I'm going to put in when I sit with Deloitte to find out.
Mm,
And the
yeah.
other thing I'm also doing with Deloitte is I'm asking other organizations to become ally, uh,
Yeah.
to come and sit and see how Deloitte is teaching us. And I'm preparing my team not to accept any cookie cutter kind of a thing because for me, part of my focus is to make sure that the principles of my ancestors are in there. The recognition of our spirituality and tradition is included. So, but I
Mm-hmm.
to other organizations to come to sit and listen
Mm-hmm.
on how to do a strategic plan, how to structure
Mm,
things. You're there as my,
right.
you don't ask questions, you filter it to me, but I open it so they could, because Deloitte doesn't know. I'm just bringing my team. I told them I'm bringing my team. That's all they know. So if any
Yeah.
of you, Bernice and Lynn, are interested to talk to me and take the opportunity to sit on this 3 months work I'm going to be doing with Deloitte to do a strategic plan, a 5-year strategic plan,
Yeah.
and fundraising.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny has been doing the work since 2016. It's been like a hobby. I'm putting a lot of money in it.
Mm,
And
yeah.
and I'm at that crossroad where in Haiti the people always want money, money, money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen,
Mm,
to the people in Haiti, I spoke to my elders, we gotta
mm,
create we're gonna have them formalize themselves. They have to be registered before I send to them. This every week they need this. I'm just over it because it's building process, it's not building system, it's not leaving legacy.
mm,
Why
yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
strategic, and it took me a long time to understand this whole strategic plan. You understand? But now that
Mm-hmm.
I
It
am will
makes sense.
yes. The other thing is I
Yeah.
would theory of change, and I sat in one of those workshop in my class, and we all been doing theory of change. Okay,
It
it's
is. Yeah.
and how in the in between you shift. For me,
Yeah.
for example,
Yeah.
goal was to help the rural farmers raise funds so they could pay for their school. Okay,
Yeah.
because that was their need. They didn't have the money. But in between, I did do it. Then I realized it doesn't fit the organization because I don't feel where the kids are going to school are really being provided with the information they need educationally.
Mm.
Shift.
Okay.
Instead, we were sponsoring vocational trade to the young adults,
Mm.
electricity,
Yeah.
plumbing, ceramic.
Yeah.
Tell them you guys have enough information to run your own
Yeah.
stuff. But I will stop here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you raise a lot of good points. The first one is about capacity building, right? You mentioned sharing information with other organizations. So it's also about having an ecosystem that help build those organizations. And I think that's what Sunt NGO is actively working on. Um,
Yes.
so based on my experience as a fundraiser and grant writer, I think a lot of organizations need to focus on fundraising the first couple of years before they focus on going
Yes.
after grants. If the opportunity presents itself, definitely take advantage of it. But last week's presentation was about grant ready, and there's a huge component about being grant ready, having the capacity to actually implement a project and being able to achieve your outcomes. But you also share something about hate you diaspora born Haitian being the ones to be most engaged in Haitian cause. I think that's interesting that you brought this because I have a group of Haitian friends and all of us are very passionate about Haiti. And my conversation was like, I was born in Haiti. I know people in Haiti. When an organization is asking me for money, you are competing with the money I send back home to my cousin.
Yeah,
Ask
yeah.
my little sister who was born in the US. She don't know nobody in Haiti. She doesn't know anybody in Haiti. So for her, that would be the most meaningful way of actually supporting organization within the Haitian community, of course, because I have spent the past 10 years working in nonprofits. I actually understand the value that nonprofit organization can
Right.
bring to organization. Again, it's not about begging people for money. It's about you working towards a change and actively recruiting people whether there are paid staff, whether there are volunteer and donors to actually help you realize that mission that you are working towards. And so, yeah, I saw
And
that you raised your hand.
so we build community within our
Yeah,
community for the young
yeah,
generation to get letters of references. People don't understand how important it is when they
yeah,
start moving and going other that they need to have participated and get these
yeah,
references and acknowledgement of the community. So
yeah,
we leave our own legacy. When I first came here, we had a Haitian community, and we
yeah.
still do,
Right.
but it doesn't feel
Mhm.
like we're connected because we're working in siloed, in isolation, and a lot of the time I find.
Yeah. Where are you based? Where are you
Brooklyn,
based
New
at?
York.
Oh, you're based in Brooklyn, New York. Okay, that's very
Uh,
interesting. I'm based in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, and a lot of us don't feel like um there is community because we just feel like we all are doing our own things, and it's really interesting to see that, especially for me since I have actually lived here for 20 years. Yeah. But for me, I always like to share, it's just like I know tons of Haitians. I do, but we just not like connected in any meaningful way. Yeah. Unless you go to a Haitian church, then I think that's the difference.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say my initiative is about what type, I have a survey. What type of
Mhm.
Haitian are you? I'm still working, fine-tuning
Okay.
the survey. You
Yeah.
guys can my side. I found in my research there were five type of Haitians. The
Mm-hmm.
nationalists,
Mm-hmm.
they're political,
Mm-hmm.
journalists, someone like me who wants to know the tradition, who wants to know the history. I like my little sour
Mm-hmm.
south, tico soul, you know what I'm saying? Then you have the disconnected,
Mm.
those who are doing the work. They're very much
Mm.
into work. In fact, I have a friend, she picked up the legacy of her father in Verret and is working with the farmer, but she doesn't know nothing about Haitian history. You say who
Mm.
was the emperor? Who was the first? Do you know about the hymn national? The
Mm.
next one is the disempowered. The
Mm.
disempowered one, when I went to different Haitian store, I would see elders and I would tell, hey, do you know the Haitian national anthem? And they start singing in French. I said, no, 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 the Haitian one that was rewritten in
Right.
1982. And then he became very emotional, saying how he wanted to go back to Haiti to build his home. A lot of people older than me, their dream was to go retire in Haiti. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the one I love, the Haitian American born. They're the one who rock. Okay, they're on social media, they know that. Then I realized about influencers.
Mm.
Some influencers, and I had to really reflect on that because the influencer I really want is people who are actually doing the work, pioneering the work of educating
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have on my website, I have a survey in English, French, and Creole. We're still working on it. It's a lot of work.
Mhm.
What type of Haitian are you? And you guys could go and take the survey, uh, which one is that org, okay? And answer it. There's some correction that has to be, some is in English, but you guys will do it. And it's basically, I'm doing the survey to find out, are Haitian interested in me facilitating workshop about, and the theme is reclaiming the Haitian anthem. So tell me, how many
Mhm.
of the Haitian anthem that was rewritten in 1982? And do you know when we first got our anthem in Haiti? What type of Haitian are you? Three questions. Lynn, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. I was just listening, and I never
So
thought
have you
about like,
anthem?
what did you say? I didn't hear you well.
Ever heard the Haitian Creole anthem that was written in 1982 by Raymond Moise?
Mm.
No, I never heard it.
So based on my research, what type of Haitian are you?
I don't really think that there is a type of Haitian actually.
It just amuse me. Just
Yeah.
based on my research.
It's more like I think what you are what you are sharing is that there are you have built five different archetypes that you can basically put different Haitian in. It's not having like this idea Haitian look a specific ways. And like I said, I started the conversation just like we cannot just take for granted that we know somebody just because they're Haitian. We and I'm pretty sure most of you guys are not only soliciting Haitian people for your organization, you are soliciting non-Haitian people as well. But as a Haitian NGO, as a Haitian NGO, and most importantly, as a person of color who do fundraising, I think we miss a lot of opportunity when we think our supporters live outside of our community. It's also an opportunity for us to actually understand what one another find important. Again, the type of engagement that I have received from Haitian NGO funders doesn't necessarily take into fact that I am an individual with very specific interests. And when you do that, you are alienating people from your own community, and it doesn't have to be. A lot of Haitian people are doing really incredible things, and there is a support within the community, but we need to get better at helping people understand what we are doing. Maybe it opens the door for us to become individual contributor within your organization. It may also open the door for collaboration and partnership. None of us is going to be able to achieve anything on our own, and I think that is the power of an organization like Sun NGO. It's really trying to build this ecosystem that help Haitian focused NGO build capacity so we can be the most effective at what we do. We are almost at 12:30. Because I went over time in my presentation, Debbie, I want you to have the stage right now to just wrap us up.
Thank you so much. I don't have my camera on, and that's pretty much okay. I wanted to thank each and every one of you for taking today and basically to join us. We do have the last session on December 20th. That one will be a 2-hour session.
Yes.
So, if you want to participate, obviously come ready, handy with questions and on time. And again, we appreciate you guys. The recording as well as the presentation will be shared. And if you have any additional questions, you can always email. I think I got everything down.
Thank you so much, Debbie, and it was a pleasure meeting all of you guys. And I wish you all the luck in your fundraising journey, but most importantly, to start meaningfully engage your donors in the work that you do.
Great. Thank you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.